There is the potential for some big-time market fallout from a exit vote in Great Britain, and we're going to ask the Wall Street titan Bob Dahl about that. So, let's get started here on Coast to Coast. Bob, it's always good to see you. There's a couple of camps, I think. You get some people that come on and they tell us this is huge, this vote in the UK, and it could really, if it doesn't go the way the markets are said to want it to go, you could be headed for some sort of real global economic problems. And then there's another camp of people starting to emerge that say, I think we're making too big of a deal of this. Yeah, it's the story of the day, but calm down a little. Which camp do you fall in?
In the near term, I think the camp that says we're making too much to do about, not nothing, but a big deal. Longer term, it's just another step in the road of what's been going on around the world. That is populist thinking that says if we erect borders, if we question globalization, if we question foreign trade, that's better for me. And I'm not sure it's really better for anybody. That's why if this happens, Brexit, it's a negative.
Right, and if it does in the UK, say, and as I said, the polls seem to be going the other way, that's why the market's up so big today, the fear is that other countries would follow. You don't think that would be a big deal in terms of how that would affect, to your point, free trade? We're going to talk about immigration coming up, which seems to be the other big issue. That's more political, I think, but in terms of economics, free trade's the big issue, right?
No question. It's a big issue, and it all has to do with countries' willingness to let other countries do what they do best, and they focus on what they do best. You know, when the world is growing, typically imports and exports, foreign trade, are the fastest growing parts of most economies. That's not been the case of late, as the sort of beggar thy neighbor and insulate myself has been the order of the day. And that's
right.
What Brexit and other potential exits represent.
Well, there are parallels between the political conversation that we're having here in the United States, especially if we just stick to what you and I are talking about right now, which is trade. You see the market up as much as it is today. As I said, about a 200-point rally in the Dow, and oil's up today, 49.28. We're looking at it right now. We see your risk assets going up as much. Does that make an argument against, say, what Donald Trump's been saying, or on the other side of it, Bernie Sanders has been saying, these anti-trade comments? Is that essentially, defeating or going against their argument, do you think, the market reaction?
I do think it is. Part of the success of the populist some in Europe and Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump here in the U.S. is around these kinds of issues. Yes, it includes immigration, but it's also about, trade deals, the feeling right. that I'm for fair trade deals, but we don't have any fair ones, as Donald Trump keeps saying. Trade is good for countries. Yes, we need fair trade. That's a more nuanced issue than we're going to shut down our borders.
Right, but America first, that's almost like, Great Britain first in some ways, putting your own country first. The idea is the same, and it seems like, with their money, investors are saying it's not a very good idea.
Agreed, because investors know that growing global trade grows economies, and right. that just puts the monkey on the back of every country to do what they do best and just keep getting better so people don't take it away from them naturally.
All right. Bob, anything big investment-wise that you would be changing this week or thinking about before we let you go with everything that's going on?
Not a whole lot. We were down 1% last week. The polls have shifted a bit. Now we're up 1%. We're kind of back to where we started.
Yeah. All right. Good to talk to you as always, Bob Dahl, on the big vote in Great Britain, which